everyone, I'm Ms.R. We're back with Raiders Thrive, and I'm here with my friends, Crystal and Mr. A. And we also want to acknowledge that we know it's the end of the term, so I know that the stress levels might be just a little bit stronger now. Just remember that you look after yourself, do some self-care, make sure you're getting enough sleep. I know it's hard because a lot of you are staying up late doing all your work, but self-care is important. So as we begin every show, we just do a check-in. So how are you guys? How was the last week? How are things?
I'm okay. Another week down, end of the term. I'm excited to start the new term and everybody has a new beginning.
Yep. Another successful week down.
Yeah, it's really I'm finding things are picking up. It kind of feels like regular high school, except not. But yeah, just another week. It's hard to believe we're here in November. I remember hearing predictions that, we're going to be closed and locked down by Thanksgiving. Yeah. And I really don't think that's going to happen. I think things are going well. But again, I'm not the expert. I don't know what things are. But it is nice to be in the school still and seeing people and having some sign of normalcy. So this week's question, my friends, is this. And, last week we gave a teaser regarding this. How can I tell the difference between just having a bad day or having a normal teenage mood swing and a problem that needs serious help from a professional? So we're going to talk about how to tell the difference between, just having a bad day, normal teenage stuff, and when does it cross over to, oh my God, I think I need help. So I'm throwing the question out, and Crystal and Mr. A, start us off.
I think I love this question because I'll just start off by saying it's unique and we're all very different. And there's a lot of different things that affect our mood, which includes even our temperament, just how we communicate, how we are even predisposition. A lot of times just comes from our genetics. But outside of that, in terms of our unique characteristics of all of us, one of the big things that I'll just kind of start off by saying is that there are many different things that affect your individual mood on any different days. Things such as your nutrition, as you just mentioned, sleep, things as, the weather. So there are many different things that as we go through, and we transition through the days, and sometimes it's just the stress of a moment in terms of, exam time, or it being a difficult time at home, or even a death of a family, grief, all these different things affect our mood. So when we talk about mood, there are many different things that we would say are normal to humans, are normal to us, because everything that goes up also must come down in terms of, we're literally like this in terms of our dopamine and serotonin levels. And these are some of the things that affect, I guess, our happiness or, just our affect. So just to kind of start off, when you are noticing that you are going down in terms of your mood and you're staying like down beyond your normal. So think about what your threshold is. A lot of times we all, but you're finding that you're getting into like a depressive, episode, and it's not normal, meaning that, this is more frequency and a longer period of time in terms of how low you're going. And that's one of the things that I'll say would be an indicator of maybe, hey, what's going on here, right? Because life is also meant to kind of have the natural ups and downs. So I'll say just, if you're noticing that beyond your average threshold in terms of your happiness, highs and lows, things are affecting you more and staying on you more, you're finding difficulty thinking, difficult getting out of, the dark modes, right? Grief is something that puts everybody down, and grief is like, you could say almost the opposite of love. These are things that are strong emotions and could be very strong, especially if you're affected by death of a family member or just things that are going on in the world. So that is also expected as a human condition. But what is the severity of some of the experiences that you're having? So I would say that would be definitely something that you need to gauge from, and also trusting the people around you, because a lot of times what you can see, they can see, and they'll be able to say, hey, I'm noticing that your moods have been totally off. And it's not something to be afraid of, because that's the thing. Sometimes when you're in it, you don't see how much you've changed or a situation has changed you. So it's always kind of having some of the trust signals around you and then being open to have more conversations and see, if this is something that's actually something that's bothering me.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it's really important to remember that when we think about our mood and the things that are going on with us, it's always, always, always important to really just kind of outline and identify what is going on in your life. Did you move homes? Did you transfer schools? Did you have a fallout with your friend? Did you, not make a team that you did? Did you not get a grade in an assignment that you were hoping to get? All these things are going to contribute. So I think that it's really important to just kind of take a step back and do some self-reflection and just kind of see what's going on in my life right now that's contributing to how I'm feeling. And what things can I control and what things can I not control? Because if you're getting to a place where you just can't control this funk maybe that you're in, and you're finding like it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse, being aware of that is so incredibly important, because that will kind of help you see, like, am I just in a mood because I got a bad grade? Am I just in a mood because of this? Or can I not get myself out of it? And so that's when you really want to, talk to your parents, talk to your teachers. I always say talk to your parents. Those are your biggest advocates. And see, if there's more that you need to do with respect to speaking to your family doctor. That's always a great starting point. But it's just so important to just, evaluate what's going on in your life to kind of gauge whether it's something significant and important and needs to be addressed professionally, or, is it just like the environmental factors that are around you that are contributing?
A few thoughts. And so it's funny, I was doing a class visit earlier talking about stuff, and it came up that if there's an issue, and this touches upon what Mr. A said, if it's persistent, consistent, and insistent. So, for instance, 19 years ago, I'm open about this, that my brother died 19 years ago. Grief is something that is there.
Yes.
So there were times I needed to talk to someone, not necessarily my doctor, but I would talk to some of my professors, because I was studying theology at the time. So my professors were priests, so they were pastoral. So I would talk to them just to manage, the grief and the tears, and it really throws you off your footing. The other thing I want to say, it's not, and I don't want to contradict you, Crystal, it's the word control, and I hesitate to use that word when we talk about mental health or grief or whatever. We don't want to control for a final outcome. We want to manage the process. So it's about managing the process, because these things are always going to come up. Like right now, so I've had 3 good days, let's say. I don't know, I can't think back to Monday or Tuesday, but I know I had a bad day one day this week. That's going to happen. There's going to be, like Mr. A said, there's going to be a roller coaster. And so of recognizing, okay, what made my bad day? Is it something serious, or is it just regular stuff? That sort of thing. So it's also being aware, and we've talked about this before, doing a self-assessment. How much sleep did you get the night before? What did you eat? Was it healthy? Are you dehydrated? Are there other stresses? So I like what Crystal was saying about just recognizing, and sometimes, just take pen to paper and just maybe on a sheet of paper, put me in the middle, like not me, but you, whoever's writing it. So me in the middle, and say, okay, what's going on? Okay, it's the end of the term, so there's culminatings, there's tests. What's going on with family? And then kind of recognize it. And then when you see it, you can say, oh, okay. I shouldn't think that I should be okay, because this is all heavy. Not to mention, we're still in a pandemic, and it has, for the past 9 months, I think 9 whatever months, the very things that make us human are the very things that cause the virus to spread. So we are now covering our faces, because talking now, there's aerosols and stuff in what we do. So we have to cover that. We have to stay distant. Don't touch anyone. No hugging. So these things also cause a stress too. The other thing I just want to mention, sometimes, you might recognize something, oh, I really need to see someone. for a lot of people, jumping from just that self-awareness to a professional like a doctor or a psychiatrist, although you need a referral from your doctor, people aren't ready to make that jump. So often I find as a chaplain, I'm the first stop. And because I've been trained in stuff, like I've had students come in with just like grief stuff, or it was just a bad day, or it's been a bad week, or there's some friendship issues. I've also had some students who had some more serious things going on, and that's when I'd say, you know what, we need to get the CYC involved. We need to get the social worker involved. So I can be the first stop. The other thing about that is talking to an adult you trust, whether it's a parent, an aunt, uncle, chaplain, teacher, guidance counselor, CYC, social worker. Talking to someone who's trained in active listening can help you make sense of what's going on. You might think it's a big deal, but sometimes, as Mr. A said, we're in it, so it's hard to see the forest for the trees or the tree for the forest. And so sometimes we just need someone who's outside of ourselves, objective, non-judgmental, safe space, to, you know, listen, to hear what you're saying, and then we can say, okay, so what I'm hearing you say is it feels like this, it's this, and well, what's going on? So we can help sharpen your skill to do that self-assessment.
Mm-hmm. And so I just want to quickly say, when I speak about like being in control, obviously we don't have control of everything, right? Every situation is different. However, if we do have that self-awareness, because a lot of people like brush things off, right? In certain situations, you might not be able to control like these feelings because maybe you don't have the proper tools or whatever the case may be. But even just acknowledging it, right? Acknowledging, okay, something's not right, something's feeling a little bit off. You then have the control to, am I going to go see the CYC or my mom or my dad or whomever, right? So you might not be able to control what other people do, but you could also control how you respond to those people. I might not be able to control that, you know, I have an outstanding assignment in this class and I need, you know, I don't feel like I'm going to pass it. But what I do have the control is to go speak to my teacher and be like, listen, like I'm really struggling with this. Can I get an extension? So in most situations, you do have control over some aspects of it, not everything, right? So just again, sorry.
So to add to what Crystal's saying, what you consume consumes you.
Yeah.
So there is a certain level of control in terms of your diet, because if you're eating bad food, these are all things that a lot of times you see your body, you get that reaction. Social media, what you consume consumes you, right? So it's always kind of finding what is contributing to this mood that you're having. Sometimes, you know, there are events, but sometimes there are certain things that you're, you know, exposing yourself to on a daily basis, even from your diet, from, you know, your technological engagement, you know, not sleeping well. So a lot of times, you know, to really figure out why your mood is being affected or why things are changing in terms of, you know, how you're presenting, it's good to kind of speak to and work with a professional, because they could help you do a deeper assessment. And they'll ask you all these questions, you know, just to kind of do a thorough assessment. Everything we just spoke about will be a part of an assessment that a professional would do with you, just to see different areas of your life. Have there been a traumatic incident that's happened? How are you sleeping? How are you eating? So we might panic because we feel like, okay, you know, something is going wrong. But this is also where it's good to speak to a professional, because that could help alleviate some of that worry that we get, because they could help you point you or start a process of elimination of seeing what has changed significantly and what changes you can then make to help, you know, improve your overall mental health and wellness.
And I like what Ms.R said about, like, you know, having a piece of paper and writing things down, because a lot of people are visual people. I'm a visual person. And when I can actually see, you know, what's going on, if I was to really just of this and that, you know, whatever it is that's happening, it really gives you a visual representation of all of the stuff that, you know, you are carrying around with you. And that's difficult sometimes, right?
Yeah. And something I found, and this is key, talking to someone, and maybe you're not ready to go talk to your doctor yet or whatever, but even just flagging one of us. it's important to talk, because what I've found over 18 years of doing this and just being human, and I have friends and family members, when we don't reach out, what we tell ourselves in self-talk might not be helping us through that situation. So if we don't have the proper or the appropriate or the healthy kind of things to say to ourselves, or the healthier outlook on it, we could actually be making it more difficult for ourselves by thinking, well, I should be like this, or I should be getting 95s, and I'm not, so I must be stupid, or I'm stupid, or I can't manage this. I'm not like my older brother. I'm not like my mom or my dad or my aunt, or I'm not like my friends or whoever. And we're gonna then enter into a broken record of self-talk that will just not help us through it. So it's really important to talk to someone to help us figure out, okay, what's going on, and how can I manage through this? How can I work through this? What are some things that I could be doing? And these may not be questions you have, but they'll be questions that sort of get resolved in that conversation. Wow.
That's it.
This
Very
was
true.
a fantastic conversation.
Yes.
So hopefully for those of you watching, this has helped in some way, has helped you figure things out, at least to do that self-assessment piece, to, when you do that self-check, to say, okay, how am I feeling today? Has it been consistent? Is it insistent? Is it persisting? Okay, if it's yes to all three, okay, hi Ms.R, I'm emailing you, or hi Crystal, I saw the Rerecich video, hi Mr. A, I saw the Rerecich video, and I just want to feel free to email us if you need support. In the bottom of the little write-up underneath our video, I always include the resources in our community that you can go to, and other website resources. So hang in there, everyone. I know it's the end of the term, and I know it's really stressful, but try to get some sleep. Try to do the self-care stuff. We're in for a few days of really beautiful weather. Try to get outside. The digital stuff, we do get digital fatigue. That is what is exhausting everyone. So try to, give yourself a digital break while you're doing your culminatings and studying for the tests, closing this term. And then, as Mr. A said, next week, we all get to start fresh with the new term. So hang in there, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.